All right, hello. I've got another lesson for you today. This one's kind of a wrap-up of what we've learned so far this unit on parallelograms and the different types of parallelograms and different types of quadrilaterals. So, if you've ever seen that movie Avatar, feeling a little bit like that guy Jake on Avatar when he's got to record all those blogs, those video logs of all his experiences. I'm getting a little more comfortable with it, but it's still a little bit it's a work in progress. All right, so let's get started. So what we're going to be talking about this lesson is trying to decide what shape something is just by using the different properties that the quadrilaterals have. Now, generally when you're doing this, you want to be as specific as you can. So if something is a quadrilateral, and you know that because it has four sides, if you can tell that it's a square by some of its other properties, then if you're asked what kind of shape it is, you want to be as specific as you can. So you wouldn't say quadrilateral, you would say square. Okay. So that's because squares are a type of parallelogram. I'm going to go back to this little tree diagram that we have here. Okay. So they are also a kind of quadrilateral. But if you know that it's a square, you wouldn't normally say that it's a quadrilateral. We're going to say that it's a square. And if you think back to when we started talking about logic and what all that means, and if a shape is a parallelogram and then parallelograms are quadrilaterals, then saying that something is a square kind of logically means it's also a rectangle, a rhombus, a parallelogram, and a quadrilateral. We don't have to say all that. We just know that that's true. Okay. So again, use the most specific name you can for these shapes when you're trying to identify them. But we want to usually start with the more basic things and then work our way up. Okay. So what can you tell about this shape? There's not a whole lot here. All that we can really tell is that it has four sides. So a lot of those shapes that we talked about had four sides, but since we don't know anything else about this, if that's all we can say is that it has four sides, then what would we say this shape is? That's right, quadrilateral. So. All right, how about this one? Okay. Well, let's start off with the basics and work our way up. It has four sides, that's right. And these symbols here, those are congruence marks. Right, those are going to tell us what? That's right, that's going to tell us that this side is congruent to that side, and this side is congruent to this opposite side. Okay, so both pairs of opposite sides are congruent, okay, and that's all we know. It's got four sides and both pairs of opposite sides are congruent. So what would we call this one? That's right, a parallelogram. Okay. Now, it's not a bad idea if you look at it and what do you think it is just before you get into the properties, kind of have some idea. Because if it doesn't look anything like a kite, then there's no reason to really try and prove that it's a kite. Okay. If you think it looks like a rhombus, then see if you can figure out a way to prove that it's a rhombus. If it looks like a quadrilateral, if that's all you think you can tell, then work on trying to do that. Don't waste a whole lot of time trying to prove that something that's obviously not a square is a square. So this one, if you took a guess what you think it might be, then that might steer you in the right path. But we know it, again, we know it's got four sides, and these congruence marks are showing that both pairs of opposite angles are congruent. And that's it. So, parallelogram. All right, what does this one look like? Some people might say it looks kind of like a kite. Maybe you're thinking just a parallelogram, okay, or maybe a rhombus. Okay, so let's go through, because rhombus, the definition of a rhombus is it's quadrilateral with four congruent sides. But there aren't any congruence marks on those four sides, so let's see if we can use some of the other properties to see what it is. So it does have four sides. The diagonals bisect each other. So just knowing that would mean it's definitely a parallelogram. But we've got also this right angle here. So what does that mean? That's going to mean that the diagonals are perpendicular. So a parallelogram that has diagonals that are perpendicular, it's got to be a rhombus. Right. So even though there aren't congruence marks on these four sides, since we can prove that it's a rhombus because of these things, then that means those are going to be congruent. Yeah. How about this one? What does it look like? Okay. Well, yeah, that's right. Most of you are probably going to say it looks like a rectangle. Okay. Well, how can we prove that it's a rectangle? So it does have four sides, and since all four of these pieces of the diagonals are congruent, that's going to also mean that the diagonals are congruent. But we need to know more than just that, because there are some other shapes that have diagonals that are congruent. Isosceles, trapezoids, we talked about those. So. But the diagonals also bisect each other, so that means it's got to be a parallelogram. So if it's a parallelogram and the diagonals are congruent, then that means it's a rectangle. Okay. All right, this one looks like it's a trapezoid. Let's see what we know about it. We know for sure it's got four sides. It's got one pair of opposite sides that are parallel. And then these base angles are congruent. And again, we said the bases are parallel. So that means it's got to be an isosceles trapezoid. It's definitely a trapezoid because it's got one pair of sides that are parallel. And then we know it's isosceles because these two angles are congruent. And isosceles again means that not only are these two angles congruent, but the two legs are congruent. And also these two angles are congruent up here. Let me know what this angle would measure. All right. In every trapezoid, not just isosceles, but every trapezoid, this angle and this angle have to be supplementary. So if you just subtract 60 from 180, you get 120, which is what this angle should be. All right. So again, we got four sides. All right. Maybe you have some idea what you think this is. It's got parallel sides. Maybe it's a parallelogram, but we don't know anything about these sides. But let's see if we got enough to prove it's a parallelogram. So this one pair of opposite sides is parallel and congruent. And we had a rule in one of the other lessons that said if that happened, then it has to be a parallelogram. Okay, so and work you're going to be doing. Oh, let's get our dad joke done here. So. I just ordered a chicken and an egg from Amazon at the same time. I'll let you know what happens. So. All right, so now we're going to go complete the assignment in Google Classroom. This one is just going to be a completion grade. It's not going to be graded for accuracy. Just if you complete it, you're going to get 100 on it. So. And I also don't forget to read all the information. I sent out a syllabus and attached a letter from Mrs. Taylor, and then just some more information on how we're going to be doing our e-learning assignments. Some of them are going to change a little bit, and some of your other teachers, your classes might be changing up a little bit also. So there's a schedule attached on there. That gives the times that the classes are going to be meeting. In my class, you don't have to get all your work done during that time. You don't even have to do your work, any of it, during that time. But that's the time that I'm going to be available for you guys to ask me questions about the assignments. And we are going to be trying some Google Meets, some video lessons or video chats where you guys can all join in and ask questions and kind of have a group learning session. So And that's the time that those are going to be going on during our class periods. So if you want to participate in those, then you'd have to be logged on at those times. But other than that, you can do the work any time during the day. We're going to start enforcing some deadlines now. Due dates for the assignments are going to be a little bit more strict than what we have been so far. But again, we understand this is kind of new for everybody. So there's going to be some problems, and I know some of you are kind of on some tough schedules at home. So just make sure you let me know if you're having trouble getting any of the assignments done in the time that you're supposed to get them done, and we can probably work something out. And also, please read the information on that syllabus carefully so that you understand what you need to do if you do have to do something later or if something isn't working. Because since it's all going to be submitted online, and I don't have any papers that you guys are turning in at all, if you turn something in late and you don't let me know that it's going to be late, or that you don't let me know when you turn it in, I might not even realize that you've turned it in late. So I might just assume you didn't do it. So, but we'll get all those kinks worked out. All right. Have a good day.